don't have your video on.
I'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity. Um, we're not sure what kind of a podcast this is going to be today. Kenny says that the energy is a little slow. Ken said it's because, Kenny is not on video. But what you always get with Voices of Integrity is, surprise, surprise, integrity, where we have conversations. What's up with you today, Kenny?
Church.
Ah,
Amish church.
Amish church, right? Because it's old Christmas.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna go to church today and tomorrow.
Interesting.
So I've only got a few minutes.
So what would you like to accomplish, Kenny?
I guess how to get something out of the service today.
Do something, approach service differently than what you have in the past.
Okay.
So in the past, you might have listened to the pastor or bishop or whoever is speaking. And this time you might not listen at all to what they're sharing. You might just look around the room and absorb all the energy of everybody in the room. Like zone out what's being said and then watch people and how they're responding.
Okay.
Make sense?
It does, yeah.
Anything else you'd like to accomplish?
What's the advantage of doing that?
It's different than what you normally do.
Ah.
So when we tend to, the way our brain works is, it's like I was in a men's, Bible study group, and there was a guy who had like 3 degrees in psychology, 3 master's degrees in psychology. And he said the way the brain works is that the brain goes ahead and it's like walking in the woods. There's a path that you go down.
Mhm.
And you go down that path, day in and day out, and you just become comfortable with that path. Like you don't even see, like the first time you go down it, you see what you see, but then you become familiar with it and you become comfortable. And so, um, that path may not be the fastest path. It might not be the most scenic path. It might not go ahead and be the most effective. So it's the path, whatever that path is. That path is whatever it is. And so if you go down a different path, it requires different synapses in the brain. And so the same thing is with a girlfriend or a wife or friends or family or church or synagogue or mosque or whatever. It's the same thing. And so we often become, in, like Nancy would say, in the habit world.
That makes sense.
And so it's in the habit world. And so when you change your pattern, you're going to have a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you'd like to accomplish today?
I don't think so. Nope.
So, like, it's interesting, isn't it? Well, like why you were on.
Yeah.
And so why were you on?
Probably discipline.
What do you mean by that?
It would have been very easy for me to just not be on because I had something else going today.
Right. It's pretty important to your family, pretty important to your culture, pretty
Right.
important to how you're raised, your value system, and everything. And yet you broke, like you went ahead and you were on. And what's interesting is that people might think this is about business, you know, which, maybe it is. Maybe it is about business, but it's about so much more than that. So wouldn't it be interesting if this was like the best old Christmas service that you ever experienced in your life because you were disciplined and you did something that you haven't done before. You changed up your patterns. And wouldn't it be interesting to go ahead and have you go ahead and say, if it's true, like this was the best, to the minister, you could go up afterward and say, this was the best old Christmas service I've ever been to in my life. Now, I wouldn't recommend when he says, why is that you say, well, I didn't listen to your sermon. I wouldn't recommend
Right. Right.
that. But what you're looking for is you're looking to listen to his sermon, what he's saying, with a different set of ears. You're looking to go ahead and feel energy, his energy connecting with the energy of all of the people who attend. And what are they getting from it? How many are paying attention? Are the people who look like they're paying attention really paying attention? The people who look like they're not paying attention, are they really not? So you can go up and you could say, it seemed like when I was kind of looking around the room, it seemed like that this service had a lot of meaning to you. And I was just curious why?
Uh-huh.
You know, Depending on who it is and what kind of relationship it had, you have with them, you want to be careful with this. The first one you can pretty much do anywhere because it's with anyone, because it's giving them honor and saying, hey, seems like you're really connected in. Why? And that will be that you asking that question to that person has the potential to be more significant than the service itself. Does that make sense?
Yep. Makes sense.
And then if you had a relationship with somebody that maybe wasn't paying attention, and so you could ask them, like, it seems like you may not have been paying attention. I was just curious, is that true? Or did I misread the situation? That will
Mm-hmm.
change their entire life forever too. But again, you want to be very careful with that type of thing because
Right.
that's a little dicier. Anything else you'd like to accomplish, Kenny?
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. So if you're listening to the rebroadcast of this and you're like, I don't understand why I was passed along this podcast, this short podcast. Well, call the individual who passed it along and ask them. And maybe they thought it'd be good for you to break your routine, do something different, or something, how you do something might be different, right? Good lesson for sure. Always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. The title of this podcast is Old Christmas.